Hello, my name is Tash. For those of you that don't know me, I am a yoga and Pilates instructor and Reiki master. Today I want to talk a little bit about goals for 2023, a little bit about my goals, but how I'm redefining my goals for this year. So the last 6 or so months, I have really had to redefine a lot of things in my life and really slow down and not hustle the way that I normally would. Throughout this time, I've also received a lot of opportunities, and I've learned that hustling isn't always the best way to go about things, especially if you know your human design, because mine is the projector and our design is that we wait for the invitation. So by hustling, we don't actually get anything out of this. It's almost counterproductive. So this year, I'm really focusing on leading with my heart, waiting for the invitations, and doing things that will support me long term rather than hustling for small things in the short term. So moving from this place is very different to how I normally have moved throughout my life, because I have always felt like I've worked pretty hard, and more than anything, I've always wanted to do the most for the people around me. So no matter where I worked, I always wanted to do my best to make sure that I was supporting my team, to make sure that my boss was happy with my performance, and that I was doing everything that I could possibly do to make sure that everything was all good. Now that I work for myself, it's very different, because the only person I have to please is myself, and that bar is very high. And sometimes I wish that I would have someone else above me telling me what to do and what's good and what's not, because it's really hard to differentiate that sometimes, I think, for yourself, and know when you're doing too much or too little. And so I'm really working on creating sustainable projects that will support me in the long run and allow me to continue to earn money no matter where I am, which has been a goal for quite a while, but I feel quite resistant to the whole online influencer TikTok vibe. So I don't think that's the way that I'm going to go about it. When I get to the intention behind my goals, I really would like to lead with my heart this year, because I feel like I've done a lot of logical thinking from my head for the past, 5 to 8 years since I left high school. A lot of what is the best route for me, what is the best route that society expects me to take, what route will make my parents proud, what route will make the other people around me respect me, rather than doing something purely because I want to. And the first leap that I ever took that was purely because I want to was leaving my full-time job and starting to teach yoga and Pilates full-time, which was huge. And it took me a long time to actually tell my family that I had done this, because I was so scared that I was going to fail. And now that I've been doing it for a year and a half, I think it's been like a year and a half, I am so grateful that I had that faith in myself to take that leap, because it's been amazing. It's been a lot of lessons, absolutely, but it's something that I wouldn't take back. And I think when we lead from our heart more often, we actually find that we are a lot more supported than what we originally thought, and that sometimes the fear of jumping into that space holds us back from our true potential. Then the other perspective, which I journaled a lot about my goals, especially my financial goals, and where I see myself in the future, and what I boiled it all down to was freedom. I really crave to have freedom in my life, and not necessarily to go and do lots of crazy things, but when I do get to the point where I want to settle down and I want to have a baby, I want to have that time for me and not have to worry about finances and working and hustling, and completely come inward into my shell and really experience that for what it is, and experience every little chapter in my life for what it is, without this thing in the back of my mind saying that I need to work hard and I need to earn money and I need to do all of the things, because it's something that is definitely very ingrained in me. In the last 6 months, when I have had to slow down for physical health and mental health reasons, I took time off work, and it was a little bit stressful because I didn't have the savings there to support myself throughout this time, and it did add an extra air of stress to the situation, knowing that not only was I not earning money, but I almost didn't have enough to support myself in that moment to allow myself to get better. And so not only was I just in the moment healing, I also had this extra stress on the outside in the back of my head saying, you need to go back to work as soon as you can, you need to earn money, we can't afford to have this time off. And so I really crave the freedom in that sense, that when I need to take the time and space to heal or to really be present in a chapter of my life, that I have the freedom and the ability to do that. And sometimes it will be for things like that, where it's a necessary chapter that requires me to take time off for work. And I hope that I get to a point where I have chapters where I'm not required to take time off for work, but it's a really beautiful season of my life, and I allow myself to do that for no other reason than pleasure and pure joy, because that's why we're all here, right? To experience pleasure, to experience joy, and not just work ourselves to death. So I think that's really where I'm going with my goals this year. And also, some of my biggest goals are to host retreats, and I really, really feel called to do this and bring more of this pleasure and joy into other people's lives, and remind them that that's why we're here. We're here to experience good things. We're not here to work all the time for X amount of money and never see the sun and never go out in nature. We're here to experience, and the more that we experience, then the more joy we have, and then everything just flows around in a big circle and it works out well. I have written a few journal prompts down that I use to set my goals for this year, and also the categories in which I used. You can access this by going either onto my Instagram, and I have an IG live saved there, or you can follow me on Sunroom, and I have all of them written down for you that you can follow along. And I also have my templates for Notion that I've used for my whole 2023, and also my January goal setting template, which you can then repurpose for Feb, March, April, and so on. I whacked these templates together in Notion. It didn't take me too long, maybe a couple of hours, but if you're not so good with that stuff, or you can't be bothered spending a couple of hours setting it up, you can subscribe to my Sunroom, and the links are there to get the templates. The templates are free. My Sunroom is a subscription, a paid subscription. So I would love if you were to join my little community on there, because I am going to be sharing the most exciting things there first this year, and then everyone else will get it later on. I also offer a lot of sneaky discounts on my Sunroom, so if you are interested in any of the work that I do, I would highly recommend you subscribe to my Sunroom because you can get a lot of inside access to me and a lot of discounts that you wouldn't otherwise get. This was a little bit of a boring video, now looking back at it, sorry about that. That is all I have to say. I hope that when you set your 2023 goals that you have a greater intention behind them. And if you've already set them and you don't have a greater intention, I really encourage you to look at your goals and think, what is the greater intention behind all of this? What is it that I'm actually trying to achieve? Because sometimes the reason that we can't achieve our goals is because we don't actually have a why. We've written down all of these things that we want, but we don't know the why. We don't know why we're trying to achieve them. And so it makes it really hard to commit to things when we don't feel that there's a purpose behind them. So that is my advice. That is my little golden nugget for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a beautiful day and a magnificent year. I'm wishing you all of the love, the luck, and abundance for 2023. And if you would like to follow along with my journey, please subscribe to my YouTube, subscribe to my Sunroom, or follow me on Instagram. See you next time. Bye.